win. You're in the bro army. You're in the bro army. For life.
Glorious.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Mikey Bro. Welcome to TEW2020 NXT The Game Season 1, Episode 5, and we are going to kick it off live from center stage again in front of 601 people here tonight on NXT. We're going to open it up with the number one contender NXT Championship match to the Broserweights Tag Team Championships. Alright, and in that match, the Brian Kendrick and Tyler Breeze defeat Matt Martell and Scott Parker, who defeat James Drake and Zach Gibson, who defeat the Lucha House Party's Kalisto and Gran Metalik when Breezy pinned Dorado with a beauty shot of 47-43, 29-35, 42-44, 49-39 for the Lucha House Party, Everride's Grizzled Young Veterans, and the Brian Kendrick and Tyler Breeze. Obviously, his tag team partner, that is Breezy's Fandango, is still out with an injury. A pretty vocal crowd didn't like seeing Martel. The announcing gave it a boost, and we've advanced the segment here. And it got the crowd off to a hot start. The Brian Kendrick and Tyler Breeze will go to NXT TakeOver in your house to take on Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, the NXT Tag Team Champion Broserweights. Alright, so a very strong start to NXT this week. As the bell sounds though, James Drake and Zach Gibson are upset as the referees count and demand that the match is restarted. You see, because Drake pinned Metalik at the same time, but the referee was awarding the win to Breeze, who pinned Lince Dorado. As the argument continues between the four on the outside, Kona Reeves hits the ring with none other than Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb and Kona destroy the Lucha House Party and Everrise with multiple high-impact maneuvers, Cobb revealing himself to be the man that Kona Reeves was discussing about. Kona Reeves has his partner in Jeff Cobb. Regal is seen walking down the ramp to end the segment, and Cobb debuted his badass gimmick, which is great, both of which are from the islands, Kona Reeves and Jeff Cobb. Should be a fun Hawaiian pairing, if you will. Kona Reeves did a masterful job interacting with the crowd and improvising, which is great. I absolutely love Kona Reeves. I think he should be focused more on NXT. I'm not saying he should be the NXT North American champion or anything, but he's a very entertaining man. And giving him Jeff Cobb to pair with should make for an exciting tag team here in NXT before Cobb eventually breaks away, I'm assuming. 33 overall. And as I've always said, we try to keep within, at least at the start of the series, is who is in NXT to begin with. But Jeff Cobb, amongst a few other people I'm bringing in, are going to add some much-needed depth to the roster as WWE begins to call away our talent. Alright, next up, Shotzi Blackheart defeats India Hartwell, who returns from injury in 2:37 with a Fright Night. Shotzi Blackheart with the victory. The crowd didn't like seeing India Hartwell, but that's alright. 27-22. This was a match just to get Blackheart over. The commentary boosted the match, and the match was cooled by the crowd just a little bit. Alright, next up, Damian Priest is shown walking down a backstage hallway on his way to the ring. The Archer of Infamy, Damian Priest, is in action. And in speaking of which, Damian Priest defeated Eric Budenhagen in 4:52 with the South of Haven. They didn't like seeing Priest. That's unfortunate. Budenhagen, who Priest fought a month ago, to the day actually, had a 33, Priest with a 42. And this match got a 43 last time they faced off. So I'm interested to see why it was only a 28 here. After the match sounds though, Damian Priest sounds victorious over Eric Budenhagen. Budenhagen didn't get his encore last time, which if you remember, the fans were cheering Budenhagen. After he lost to Priest, he's super charismatic. But Priest has defeated him soundly and looks directly into the hard camera and said, "Ciampa," as the cameraman cuts out. Priest struggled again. Budenhagen was great. So it looks like we may need to pair Damian Priest with someone who can talk for him or help him out a little bit. He's very solid in ring, but his personality isn't getting over. 30 overall. The monitor shifts backstage to Tommaso Ciampa, who is shown watching what Damian Priest was doing, mouthing his name after the match. The camera rotates and shows he was talking to William Regal. Regal, who was just out there for the tag team, match after Cobb debuted with Kona Reeves. Looks like he's having himself a busy night. 33 overall segment. Ciampa, again, very low rating for Ciampa. Disappointing. Alright, next up, the Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly defeat Maxwell Chicago and Jamie Olivian, two local jobbers, when Fish pinned Chicago with a running single night he strike. 25-22 for the jobbers, 49-57 for the Undisputed Era. All right, so 41 overall, not bad. All right, next up from the commissioner's office, though, we're getting some information in regards to next week on NXT, where the Cruiserweight Champion, Jordan Devlin, will take on Joaquin Wilde, and Mercedes Martinez will take on Mia Yim, as well as Kalisto taking on Kushida. Wilde and Devlin did great. Martinez didn't do well, and Hartley Jackson didn't do well putting the segment together. The Age of Devlin storyline has advanced, and the commentary has boosted the segment. And Jordan Balor, who's listed as Finn Balor, who's listed as Jordan Devlin's manager, helped him throughout the segment, which is great. 39 segment rating, and just a reminder, Finn Balor, unfortunately, will be leaving. All right, 39 overall. But to that point, in regards to Finn Balor, and huge news, the biggest match set for NXT Wrestling TV since we've started the save, Finn Balor on TV will be taking on the Velveteen Dream, the winner, becoming the #1 contender to Adam Cole's NXT Championship, and will take on Cole at NXT TakeOver in your house. Again, Finn Balor's leaving is unfortunate, but that's where we're at right now. So we kind of rushed this one. Finn Balor looked good, and the quality was lifted in the segment. 53 overall. All right, next up, Keith Lee in his North American Open Challenge defeats Cameron Grimes in 14:08 by a pinfall with his power slam. Keith Lee makes his first NXT North American Championship title defense. Keith Lee with a 48, Grimes with a 35. That's my dog in the background, Apollo, as you can see. Keith Lee gets a lot of static from the vocal crowd who weren't impressed, but Keith Lee and Cameron Grimes has great chemistry. That might be good to note, something we can go back to when both men get a little more over here in our save. Keith Lee and Cameron Grimes with good chemistry. I like it. 45 overall. Keith Lee with his first championship defense with his North American Open Challenge. All right, next up, the camera finds William Regal in the back with Kona Reeves leaning against the wall with the newest NXT signing. Jeff Cobb standing next to him. Regal goes on to tell Kona that wasn't necessary, and quite frankly, he almost was suspend him for an all-brutal attack. Excuse me. However, Regal would go on to say, Cobb is very impressive. Kona nods, but then gets a little self-conscious that Regal was paying attention to Jeff Cobb and not him. Regardless, the scene fades out with Regal contemplating the biggest signing of Jeff Cobb. Reeves underperformed. Regal was fantastic. Reeves was underperformed, but he improvised great with the crowd not too long ago. So, still kind of figuring out the segment, and segments, but just the targets, if you will. Next up, Kushida defeats Cesar Banyani in 4:58 with the Kushida lock, 37 overall. This was just to get Kushida over here. Next up, the camera shows Ciampa making a big entrance on his way to the ring to take on Timothy Thatcher in tonight's main event. Only a 25 for Ciampa, who's a 51 over. That is ridiculously low. Not sure why. All right. But in the main event, in the match I knew that would deliver, Tommaso Ciampa defeats Timothy Thatcher in 11:18 with a Project Ciampa. Put up a 54 to Ciampa, 33 for Thatcher. It was poorly placed. Unfortunately, I placed it, well, as you saw, I put Ciampa coming to the ring. I thought that would help raise the momentum for the match, but it really brought it down, which in turn affected the match rating in the finale of the main event to only a 50. Ciampa with only a 25 for overness in the previous segment, which is a little unfortunate, but regardless, Ciampa with the victory over Timothy Thatcher in the main event. All right, we're going to get a 39 after going high the last couple shows. We're dropping way back down to a 39, which loses its popularity in 12 regions. Bummer. It did, however, increase our popularity in 29 regions. Martel, Metalik, Dorado, Kendrick, and Parker were used too much, unfortunately, and we didn't get a steal the show targeted match this week. We're gonna have these show notes occasionally with the disappointed match targets. I'm not gonna book every single target that NXT books on a weekly basis because I don't think it's sustainable in this mod as of right now. So, that being said, regardless, we have a pretty decent episode of NXT. A 39 overall ratings-wise wasn't what I want, but this was this was kind of a cosmetically balanced show as we headed to NXT TakeOver in Your House, which is just 3 NXT wrestling events away. We'll get to the card after the end of the next show, kind of get you a little further where we're going. But as of right now, we're going to go in NXT The Game Season 1, Episode 5, where NXT posts is only a 39 overall rating after posting a considerably stronger show last event. But we got a hell of a show next week, as you saw, as we built up tonight. And in 2 weeks, we do get that Balor versus rematch, which will help. But until next time, it's me, Mikey Bro, wishing you a glorious rest of your day. And I'll see you guys next time.